You know, not everything is sunshine and roses. Let's start talking about all of this. You could also tell me what you think about everything I've said. Let's begin. Are you still willing to stand by this high price until the end of the year? Ask the question. There are 13 days and 2 months left in the year. Yes, Ms. Wetzel, we got Molly. If you look at how things are now, what do you think about the rest of the year? Has anything happened that made you doubt yourself? I'm still 99% sure that it will be 3 digits this year. Yes, 100%, 100% of the time. Yes, every day that goes by, the events that are still going on here at the end of 2025 make me even more sure that the price of XRP will skyrocket in the near future. According to the reasons I gave, which are becoming more and more likely every day, this year will be the year when those things happen. And to say it again, all of my price estimates are based on real-world events that act as catalysts. I don't have a magic wand, a crystal ball, or a switch that I can flip to change the future. XRP will experience a supply shock, which will drive the price to the levels I've been talking about for a year and a half. These are real market events that will happen, okay? What he said about prices has cost him a lot. The price he said would be between $750 and $1,000 is where we need to look. How do we really feel about this? The value of XRP on the market is between $45 and $60 trillion. Of course, we would need to see a lot of the goods that were bought on exchanges. We're talking about a very small supply, maybe even just 100 million on exchanges, that could really send this price through the roof. Now, Jake tells you what could happen if things don't go the way he thinks they might. To go over this one more time, I have a full idea about how prices get so high, but it takes a lot of different factors coming together to make that happen. Let's do the bare minimum if it's just the ETFs, I say. Suppose we talk about ETFs. We know that ETFs will happen, and we're pretty sure that the rate will go down. 10 to 13 XRP would be a good price, or even 20 to 25 XRP by the end of the year or this time next year, the end of the year. I think that amount of cash could come in if ETFs are released this year. As I said before, I think other things will come together to make it go much higher than that. I believe those price levels are best for the ETFs alone. Jake Claver has made a lot of money from his statements, no matter if they are right or wrong. They helped him get views, which led to sales. He is a businessman after all. He was able to accomplish his goal very well. Jake won't really care if he was right or wrong. If XRP goes to the levels he thinks it will, he's going to have a lot of money. He will still be a millionaire even if he's wrong, right? With everything he has, I don't know, man. Some people are. There is a lot of disagreement about it. People always talk about it in the comments and on my live shows. Things are the way they are. They do it. Ask me what number of structured goods and derivatives there are. This is the reason why XRPS can be worth a lot more than what we've talked about today. When do you think? This year. This year? What do you mean? It'll be worth $2,500 this year, right? It might be by the end of the year, for sure in your mind. It doesn't matter if it's not done in 2 years. So this is the opposite carry trade. The things I've talked about are what need to happen in order for these things to happen. Those things need to take place. Are they going to come? They're right outside the door. Are they going to happen? They will happen. XRP starts to go up when that happens. Should I sell my account since it's going down? Once everything is stable, will it go back down or will it stay that high? It's going to stay that high. That's because, as we already said, there will be enough liquidity in it for these parties that settle deals to do so all day using XRP. That means Swift settles $5 trillion every day. That amount of money will stay on the network if it comes on when XRP is $100. If they start selling the back end of the stock market, which is worth $5 to $6 trillion every day, there will be more demand. It will move to a new price and stay there because of the steady demand and volume from the payment of those networks and markets. It's now the new way that money works around the world. It will be a top-level asset in the banking system, and I think it will be worth a lot of money. That means I need to get more XRP. Now let me talk about the derivatives, which is where things get interesting. Now let us talk about the variations. And I believe this is Ripple's main goal for what they're making. Codius is a tool that has been in beta for a long time. It's a smart contract. If you're interested, I just made a movie about Codius. David Schwartz has said in several tweets that he would go build a business around Codius if he ever left Ripple, which he is doing at the end of the year. It does feel like Codius is still alive and just sleeping, but it could wake up at any time. He might be right about what he's saying here. Platform for derivatives, All of these structured derivatives, goods make it up. You can't even measure futures right now. Some people don't even understand the danger. Lehman and all of those other companies failed in 2008 because they had a lot of mortgage-backed securities that they had packed up, sold, borrowed money against, and done a lot of other risky things with. They do this because they make a lot of money, but they do it anyway. There is no way to measure the danger, and no one can tell you how much the derivatives market is worth. It's between 400 trillion and 4 quadrillion. And if you had a way to keep track of things, but in the futures market, that's not what it's really worth. It's worth a lot less on the futures market. That is with all the power, right? What he just said is true. The real amount is somewhere between 10 and 15 trillion. Because they're complicated, they could be used to figure out all the risks that come with that and release all these derivatives. You need really hard to understand smart contracts to make this work. That was on the XRPL, and XRP takes care of those. This is about $10,000 to $50,000 in XRP. I think that's 5 years. That will soon be 10,000. Let me take a look at this. 10 to 50,000. Also, I want to say it again, none of this is financial advice. Everything is just for fun and learning. It sounds like money advice when you say it this many times. I've shown you maybe 100 Jake Cleaver videos that all talk about how the price is going to drop. It will get there, I'm sure. These things are going to happen. I'm not sure. Tell me, guys, before you decide what investments to make, please always talk to your wealth planner. I agree with that. It won't even figure out that high. Yes. How many times 10,000 is 49,116? About 4.9 million. Over 4 billion. I'm sorry, 4.9 billion. Let's do XRP. Either I would cash out or I wouldn't. Okay, let's get right to the math. If the global derivatives market settled on the XRP system, it would be worth $1 quadrillion. The global derivatives market actually trades and settles using XRP. Let's go. 1 quadrillion or 100 trillion would be worth of XRP if it directly reflected or took up 10% of the derivatives market. By dividing the 100 trillion by the 99 billion XRP that are available, the figure comes up with a theoretical 1,000 XRP. We don't have this exact amount on hand right now, though. Of course, this isn't based on supply that's already coming in or supply that's available. That's kind of where the 1 million to 50,000 mark comes in. Jake is saying that there isn't much of it if the supply has pretty much run out. This is where the price can go through the roof.